Coming in. Click my button. Okay, sweet. We are on. And, nice. My game is working. You should see me on screen momentarily if you don't already.
Yeah, I see you.
Okay, I'm just going to test the audio over here just because I'm paranoid. Testing audio. Yeah, we got a couple people in here. Dude, there's just something about hearing your own voice where you're just like, I sound like an idiot.
Yeah. You just have to accept that you do sound like an idiot. And we all sound like idiots to ourselves.
Yeah. What up, 𝔽𝕝𝕚𝕚𝕝? Good evening.
𝔽𝕝𝕚𝕚𝕝, hey. Michael, where are you flying tonight?
Well, we have to choose that.
Oh, that's part of our conversation.
Yeah. And we can
Okay.
we can deliberate about that, or we can just be decisive.
Okay. How about we count to 3 and we both say the first place that immediately pops into our head, and whoever's is more exciting, we go with that one.
All right, that's pretty. Okay, wait, but I need to not do one that's overly non-exciting. Okay. All right, ready? Oh shit, mute myself.
Shit,
okay,
I
ready?
can't stop thinking Des Moines, Iowa, and I don't want to fly there.
It's because you want me to choose.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, on 3.
Okay.
On 3, don't even think. 1, 2,
3, Utah. Russia's more
Russia
cool.
or Utah? Let's do Russia.
Let's do Russia. Fuck it, let's do Russia. Alright, cool. Let's just get this set up. But we're also going to have to pick a plane. Hold on, let me figure out my controller.
Let's use that dope one that you just bought.
Yeah. Fighter jet over Russia.
Yeah.
Cold War style. Alright. So, I don't know when you'll see this momentarily. We got to pick specific places. Are you thinking more like Europe or more like Asia?
I was thinking more Asia. Maybe like the Eurasian steppe sort of part of Russia.
Okay, where is that like?
It's like the around Mongolia. I guess it would be Eastern Russia.
Irkutsk.
Yeah. Sure.
Della says they don't have an A-10, but they have some kind of cool-ass fighter jet. Oh, it actually shows up there. The 𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 MB339A. All right, Irkutsk. I kind of want to Google where that is. Do you predict that it's in Russia? Yeah, it's in Russia. Irkutsk. Oh, this looks great. Let's do this. All right, sweet. And which direction do you want to go?
Let's go south.
Nice. All right, cool. We could go towards China. I don't know if we're gonna make it because the actual times are the real times. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, the Forbidden City. Let's fly as long as we want.
As far as we can. Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
And then also, we're doing this. Soren's gonna pass out midstream. We're good to have you as long as we have you. Do you want the Con? Do you want the blue fighter jet or the red and silver one?
I like the blue one.
Yeah, I like the blue better as well. All right, you're getting a privileged flight on this. On this here. Wait.
I'm getting a privileged flight?
Yeah, because this is the first time I've had the fighter jet on stream.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so what is... I've never done a flight simulator before. Tell me about this. What... Is this like a popular one?
So, I'm also pretty new to the genre, except for that now I run a thing with it. But, this came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think the best one or whatever. It's like the cutting edge one. So
what's it called?
Microsoft Flight Simulator, and so it's stupidly expensive. By the way, Irkutsk looks really dark, but we can screw with everything. We can control all kinds of stuff. That's right. Apophis first. Welcome, Texas Gunner. We can change the time of day. Yeah, it's snowing in Russia. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, let's not fly at night. That's lame.
Yeah. It's wild, though, because look at this. It gets dark at like 9:50 in the morning.
Whoa.
Oh, no, wait. No, I misread that. That was UTC. Oh, no. Okay, no, I totally misread that. That was totally wrong. All right. It gets dark at a reasonably normal time, like 5 p.m. It's still pretty dark. Let's just do it like this. So basically, check this out. I'm in the fighter jet. We got ice on the windows. We got buttons. We got dials.
This is absurdly cool.
Yeah.
Absurdly cool.
Like, and I can actually like click a lot of these. Like shit clicks. I do love the ice on the windows. That's true. Sometimes you click them and cool shit happens. I'm not very good at knowing which ones are clickable or not. Oh, like tests. Hold on, how do I do this?
If you click a button, will it do the thing that it actually does?
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
So you could press a random button while you're up in the sky and then totally tank if it's the wrong thing.
Right. That's the idea. Here, look. What? Battery switch on. Gen whatever. Warning light test. Look at that. I like when the lights go on and off.
Wow.
It's kind of cool, right? I also, to be honest, would be kind of interested in knowing more about this plane, because I don't know anything about planes, but I feel like I should learn.
Dude, you're about to fly it, bro. Are we gonna be? Am I in danger?
you're in this fictional situation. You are in a little bit of danger, but let's just crank the engines and freaking do it.
Oh man, I like this choice of flying out of Siberia.
Yeah, dude. Look at the wind. Gotta stay on the icy. Gotta stay on the. So yeah, I do have. And we're slip and sliding a little bit. All right, up. How many buttons can you think of that will crash your plane if you press them? I don't know what any of them do. As far as I know, pretty much none of them will blow the thing up. Or we are off the ground.
Do you have a joystick?
I'm using a PlayStation controller.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You can do it with keyboard and mouse. Yeah, I think people do like buy the joysticks, and they do, super immersive. People will play racing simulators with like a foot pedal and like a wheel.
Yeah, my housemate's really into flight simulators, and he also speaks German, so I hear him yelling in German at different moments. It always has something to do with the flight simulator.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so
I dig this.
I thought I saw some. There's some like rainbow action over here. It's very subtle. There's like a snow rainbow. Maybe I imagined that. Did anybody else see that? Am I crazy?
No, I don't see a snow rainbow.
Look here. Look where I think my mouse. There's something there.
Oh yeah, I see that.
I'm gonna go towards it.
So I was kind of thinking like there's a little blue sky there. I was kind of thinking the aesthetic of wherever we fly should set the tone of our philosophy conversation.
Yeah. That's I'm down. Let's run with that. Wait, I swear I just saw a rainbow, and it disappeared. So
it's pretty barren, and there are little glimpses of little light popping through little blue sky.
Yeah.
There's something about that that's interesting.
Yeah. It's also cool. You can kind of go when you get above the clouds.
Yeah.
It'll clear up even more. It also says there's an entire cockpit replica community. Thank you, Vec. This is the first time we're trying this guy out on
expensive hobby. Yeah. Oh, is that Vecnon? Vecnon's here?
Yes.
Yes.
Vecnon's a reg.
Cool.
A frequent flyer, as I like to call them. If you want to see expensive, look up 6-axis 747 cockpit simulator. What up, Zach? Frequent flyer checking in. Hell yeah, dude. I do as soon as I can. There are weird requirements on it. I want to get all kinds of like plane-related emotes. I want to have like a stewardess. I want to have a hat. I don't know. I just want to have the whole thing. There is one. I don't know who is subbed and can use it, but there is a. Yeah, I lost my boarding pass. There is a crashing plane that I added in like some of my face, but.
You should turn your whole room into a cockpit.
God, it's one of those things. So, okay, so
it's like the horseshoe theory when it comes to children's rooms. You know, it's like kids that have like race car beds, and you know, it's like they're really into race cars, and then you just become an adult and become obsessed with the stuff again, and so your room starts to look exactly like it used to when you were a kid.
So I was into Godzilla and shit. I was like an aliens and monsters and dinosaurs guy. I actually had the toys from Alien when I was probably younger than I should have been watching Alien. Okay, we're actually going north, so let me fix that, and then we'll get into our aviator sunglasses. Yeah, are those actually for aviators? I guess that makes sense. I really look like a cop with aviators.
Have you ever flown low and terrorized populations by flying too close to them?
So you can get... Yeah, I can... Oh, wait, I forgot to put away... Hold on, check this out. I'm going to put my wheels away. Fold them in. You can get pretty low. You can get all the way low, right? I mean, you can crash. You get so low. Unfortunately, there aren't crowds of upset people. That would really be pleasing to me. All right, nice. We're So, by the way, let me know if you want me to... Let me just show you a few of the controls we have, and then, yeah, we'll get into some of the shit. So, I can change the local time to any of these. It can be beautiful day. It can be, morning.
Nice.
I can turn off the clouds. That's another one that's pretty cool to be able to do. Because then you can actually see shit.
Oh, yeah. I
so
like that.
This is cool, right?
Turn off those clouds.
All right, no clouds for now. So some will not know this, but I don't even know if you know this, Colin. But you know the beginning part of this, which is that Colin decided that I was starting a podcast called what the hell was it called? It was called
Catch the Plot.
Catch the Plot. This came out of some Twitter joke that I was going to have girls on the show to talk to them about like social drama, and Colin kind of was memeing this, and it was not long after that I started Philosophers on Twitch playing Flight Simulator. So
this was post that.
This was post. So this was like
cool.
It was like a week post, because you don't know this part. I had a friend text me being like, "Dude, if you started this podcast, I would actually watch it." And it was someone I kind of respect. I haven't heard from in a while, and I was like, something got me thinking, and
that's great.
This is what ended up coming out of it, and I still have not entirely, ditched the idea. So in a way, for better or worse, you may get a credit on this thing.
I love it. You took it and then you made it your own. It's beautiful. I think this is it's perfect. This is like it's very unique. It's a very specific talk show. It feels like a talk show, not like a podcast.
It's a talk show, not a podcast, man. It's a talk show, not a podcast.
I love the branding as a talk show too, because podcasts are old hat.
Right. Well, that's what they say, but everyone keeps making them.
Yeah.
I feel like shitting on podcasts is new hat. I don't know if podcasts...
That is true. Podcasts aren't going anywhere. People love podcasts. I love podcasts.
I listen to history podcasts. Are the main thing I do.
Did you go through all of Dan Carlin's?
A whole lot of it. Not even most of it, but like I did the Persia one, I did the World War One, I did some of the Mongolia, like some of the one-offs and stuff.
Yeah, the Mongolia one, the Genghis Khan one may have been my favorite.
Yeah. I want... God, there's so much shit. I literally was just marveling at like how many books I have on my desk that I have not touched, and I just bought books today, and there's just so much.
Yeah.
World.
Yeah. I know. I think I'm gonna trim my bookshelf. There are some books on my shelf that I think are from a different part of my life that I look at them now and I'm just like, these books are lame and I'm never gonna read them or finish them.
Right.
So I think there's like a culling that is gonna take place.
I think what happens to me is I get stuck. By the way, I'm flying low so we can see some cool Siberian trees.
I'm into it. Thank you.
I think a thing happens for me where it's not quite dead. Like, it doesn't quite feel dead, the book, but I haven't touched it ever. And then it's just taking up space.
Yeah.
And that's, like, shitty.
Totally. I you know, one book that I thought I would really like. But I haven't even opened it yet. It's How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan.
Okay. Wait, you said that?
Have you read this book?
I haven't read this book. Wait, did you just say it looked good or looked lame?
Okay, no, I went to... He gave like a talk at Barnes & Noble when I was living in New York, and I went and watched it, and I was like into psychedelics and into psychedelic research, and then I just never got around to reading it, and now I just like don't really care what Michael Pollan has to say about psychedelics.
Yeah.
I think I missed my window of period of time where the book would have been interesting to me.
Right. I guess that's the response to your question, Delasis. What are the lame books? Delasis
it was good. Makes you want to do psychedelics. Yeah. Well, see, I was already doing psychedelics, so I didn't need a reason to like do more.
Right. Just do them. They're cool. I mean, I feel like someone like that is doing a service to the world.
Totally. Yeah. I don't want to shit on Michael Pollan. This is just like my own personal preference.
I liked his show about food. Cooked, I think it's called. Have you heard of this show?
No, I haven't.
The show is like it's 5 episodes. They're called like Fire, Earth, Water, Air, whatever. And he talks about like food, but kind of philosophically. So he talks about, in the Fire one, it's about like meat and like ethics of meat eating and like.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool.
He kind of like argues that there's like an ethical way to do it. He thinks it's better if you raise the animal and are more in touch with the process. He doesn't come out as like fully vegetarian, even though he wrote that book. What did he write that book? Omnivore's Dilemma.
Oh, and In Defense of Food. I read that in college and dug it.
By the way, J.E. Stuber, we are flying towards the Forbidden City from Irkutsk, Russia, where I've never been before until virtually at this time. Thankfully,
so you get you get notifications in the chat for people playing other games.
No. That's my music.
Oh, that's your music, right? I can hear the music.
Yeah, you can hear the music. You gotta imagine.
I thought it was like some random person who follows you who's just like, now I'm playing this game.
Right. No, that would be spammy. You can get all kinds of stuff. So I'm pretty much not at all integrated with like the Twitch community. So there's a weird thing about Twitch, which is like, I didn't get on Twitch because of Twitch. I got on Twitch because of Twitter, right? Because I've got Twitter people.
To this podcast.
Thanks for following J.E. Stuber. Good to have you.
Cool.
But do you see that? I got the nodding guy. Yeah. It's pretty sick. There's also a soundbite. When you check out the recording, there's a pretty good soundbite. What was I saying? People on Twitch do a whole Twitch networking thing. They meet each other. They get on each other's shows. They do like dating shows is like a big thing on Twitch. They host each other on their channels. I don't host anybody on my channel. Nobody hosts me because I don't know anybody. Pretty much. So it's a whole world that is, I don't know how interconnected it is with Twitter in general, or even like all these people have Twitter accounts, obviously, but like especially my side of Twitter, I don't really hear about people doing Twitch stuff. So anyway, it's a whole other world. There's stuff you can do with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, I was half reading the chat while you were explaining that to me.
Yeah. I'm always half reading the chat, even while I'm talking.
Motherfucker wrote a book on humans being manipulated by plants, did a few drugs, and wrote an evangelical text on behalf without being in on the joke. Yeah, that's funny.
On behalf of plants.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Lithros. Welcome, dude. Thank you for the follow.
What's a book on your shelf, Michael, that you haven't picked up yet,
Yeah.
Maybe that's been dormant for a while, but part of you is like, someday I'll get inspired.
Yeah, I'll show you. This guy. Oh man, two. I'm gonna pull two of them out. These were both recommended by people. Oh shit. I'm flying the plane at the same time, so bear with me. Uh-oh. My light is fucked up now. All right. Okay, we're good. This is the first one that I actually really do want to read. Is this visible? After Virtue. 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚 McIntyre. I am led to believe that this is something like a it's like a take on modern morality and the decline of modern morality, essentially, as drifting away from virtue ethics. Like, I think the guy's in favor of, like, Platonic, Aristotelian virtue ethical thing. Not down with consequentialism, stuff like that. That's what I really want to read. This is the other one, which is A Social History of Truth by 𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚. That is a really weird book that I don't understand. Civility and Science in 17th Century England. And I think it's the sense I got, I read the first few pages, is that it's about, like, the development of the social technology around, Soren recommends After Virtue, the social technology around, like, doing science, but it's also kind of like gentlemanly conduct and how these are, like, entangled. I mean, you know, social history of truth, so that's the kind of mixed angle it's taking. I understand, but, you know, obviously I haven't read it. So it might not be about that at all. I think it's about that, though.
Wait, so were you interested in philosophy more broadly, or religion more broadly first? Or have they always been inseparable to you?
Definitely philosophy, I would say. I hesitated because I think I was interested in the idea of ethics, first of all. And to me, that's kind of in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I did a whole... Litheros, I don't know what you're talking about, the Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I don't know what that's a reference to, but I'm curious. What was I just saying? I have to
religion and
yeah. I have to split my brain in, like, 3 parts. You know,
I know you're flying, you're reading a chat, and you're answering questions.
Doing Twitch is basically trading
and drinking scotch.
And drinking scotch. It's basically trading on being able to multitask while remaining chill about it. That's stuff. Or at least having a breakdown in a funny way. The thing we were just talking about was philosophy. What happened? I was interested in the idea of how to be a good person, basically. Like, when I was young, I thought about...
Did you grow up a secular Jew?
I grew up a Reformed Jew.
Okay,
so a little
what's
bit.
the difference between the two?
I think, well, as I'm led to believe... Talis loves the turnabout in the interview. No, I'm down. Why not? We got a little time. I am led to believe that you can be Jewish without believing in God and without being religious. This is the thing I heard growing up, at least. Some Jews might disagree about that, but that's the thing I heard growing up. Like, my rabbi said, someone asked him, do you believe in God? You know, expecting to hear yes, right? But he said, you know, like, usually, you know, something like this. And that was the kind of vibe around it. And so, but then there's, you know, Orthodox conservative reform is the breakdown, where it's kind of like in an Orthodox, you know, temple, you're separating men and women. You know, people wear the payas, the curly hair, and the talit, and they got the hats, and they got the long overcoats, and the whole, you know, whole shit, taking kosher like ultra seriously, versus reform. You know, it's pretty chill. Like, not everybody even keeps kosher, and I didn't.
Then there's the Jews. I don't know if this is like, maybe these are secular Jews, but they're the ones where they're just culturally Jewish, and, like, progressive politics is basically their religion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, like secular American Jews are kind of like that. Though it's progressive politics, but then until you talk about Israel.
Oh yeah.
Though it depends. Even that depends. But there's always a special wrinkle around Israel, whether it's being especially hateful of Israel or especially like, well, no, it's different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, a thing I've heard, maybe, oh yeah, Vogelfree Dog, we had video for when Maybe was on. Because maybe he's more attractive than most of our guests, and Colin's also out there.
Did Vogel not get video?
No, because of. I mean, if you wanted to, we could have put him on. Even evangelicals have a special place for Israel. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I was going to mention. Is there's kind of sometimes like kind of an alliance between evangelicals and American Jews on the Israel question. Evangelical Christian, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Vogelfree, you're going to have to explain the red heifer breeding project, because I heard about that from you and it blew my mind. But do you know about this?
What is that? No, what's that?
I'm going to try to summarize while hopefully Vogelfree types. There's something like a list of conditions that must be met before the end times happen. And one of them is a red heifer, being a red cow, appears or something. I don't know what happens to the red heifer or what the deal is. So apparently there's a literal red heifer breeding project. Vogelfree, if you put that in chat, we could take a look. I don't know if you have that on hand. There's literally a breeding project that I guess it's run by evangelical Christians. Yeah, there we go. Evangelical Texas ranchers are helping genetically engineer perfect red heifers because you need one to consecrate the temple.
Where does is there a biblical reference? There's a specific biblical reference to the red heifer, and it's been interpreted as this is a literal red cow. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I was thinking about this earlier today, how I had a dude in college tried to convince me, not too seriously, I think, numbers 19.2, tried to convince me that Obama was the Antichrist because of he had a numerological argument. And so he opened up a prayer book, like a Jewish, like a Tanakh or whatever, and he leafs through it and he shows me how different letters mean different numbers and it adds up, and here are the symbols, Obama, watch this, he's skipping letters, Obama, and doing this whole fucking triangulation thing.
So the math checked out then.
I mean, I found it cool and didn't have many other thoughts about it.
Did it change your belief? Did it change your opinion of Obama at all?
I don't think it maybe changed my opinion about the people who think about Obama. Have you heard about Islam's end time story? It says the Antichrist is currently locked in a cave on an island in the Mediterranean at this very moment. Dude, we're gonna have to go there on I shouldn't say that. On Philosophers on Twitch. That's wow. No, I've never heard that in my life. Islam is like a gaping hole in my knowledge base around religion. Very unfortunately.
Yeah, me too.
I have heard the Nation of Islam's creation story. They go around the black cube many, many times. Colin, what are you thinking about?
Yes. I was thinking about, I was doing like a word association thing. I don't know the Nation of Islam's creation story, and then I was just thinking of other creation stories, and they were all kind of like playing in my head like a old movie.
I know of the this is a great topic, actually. I wish I knew more about it. Isn't there like a gigantic egg in the Chinese one? And okay, I'll rapid fire list the ones I know. In the Chinese one, I think there's like a giant egg. The world comes out of an egg, or the world is an egg, or the yolk is the sky. It's like something like that. I don't know, remember. I believe in the Viking one, the world is born out of the corpse of a fallen giant. Which is the coolest thing.
You know more than I do.
Oh, okay.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
We got primordial egg. I hope Egg Prophet shows up just to know we're talking about this. One Greek story also has the primordial egg. Man, these trees, man.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Russia, beautiful country.
Yeah, I would like to go. I would like to go someday. Maybe in the summer. It's interesting because you think of Russia as being freezing cold, but in the beginning of Crime and Punishment, it's just this extended description of how horribly hot it is. It's a little like Chicago, actually. Though maybe even more so.
Sir Vogel, I do not have a connection to Russia. It was just the first place that popped into my head.
What did I say? You said Russia, and I said...
You said Utah, which I do have a connection to Utah.
Right.
I was born there. And
right.
I was raised Mormon.
Aztec one's really cool. This isn't the first version of the world. Other gods have created worlds before, but fucked it up, so other gods had to give it a try. That is cool. This is a very simulator compatible.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. How I mean, you should have seen the world before this, Lithros. Should have seen the world before. It was a real shithole. Okay, wait. So you're raised Mormon. Yeah, I guess I have the same question for you that you asked me. Like, how intense was that? Like, how serious was it?
Well, I was Mormon until I was 9, and I just remember it kind of being like just chill as fuck because I had a million cousins. I had 42 cousins, and we would all just hang out every weekend. So it was
crazy.
And the church part was kind of a bore, like sitting in service. The Mormon services, I don't think they're this long anymore, but the services used to be like 3 hours long.
Wow.
And I remember I have this memory of my brother and I just like laying on the pews, and we had these Sesame Street coloring books that we were just drawing dicks in. Like while the service was happening. I don't know why that memory just popped into my head.
Yeah.
But we ended up we ended up leaving because my older brother has Asperger's, and my mom was like having flashes to him being in high school and like being pressured to go on a mission. And she was also having her own like crisis of faith too, because she's a mystic, and she converted to Mormonism when she was a teen. I think she kind of outgrew it and was like, I want to go study yoga now. And so so we moved away, and we moved to Michigan for a couple years and then to Seattle, and my grandma would send missionaries to our house like every few months. Every few months, the missionaries would show up at our house and like try and get my brother and I to go river rafting, like with the local Mormon church.
But so your mom converted when she was young, but then your grandma also converted, or
sorry, that was
the other side. The other side.
Mom.
Got
my
it.
dad's
okay.
mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so then the missionaries would show up, as they do for many people in the world.
Yeah.
But it's a little different.
Yeah, I'm really curious how. I still have Mormon family, but I wish I had access to their books to see how successful the religion has done over time. If it's always like if they're always like steady increasing in numbers, or if they go through periods of drought where new members aren't coming in. And it seemed like there was a time for a while where there was, I think, wokeness was like affecting Mormonism a little bit, and a lot of the members were kind of pushing back at certain things, certain like super conservative things about the church.
Right.
But I don't know how big that got, or if that has any, if that affected things at all. But it's interesting. It's interesting how a religion like that was created in America in the 19th century. Yeah, it's like a pioneer religion.
Mm-hmm.
How it adapts to the internet age, basically.
Right. Yeah, Vogelfried, we may be able to get over to Moscow or St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, Russia is extremely big, and I'm as zoomed out as I can get on this little map. And it just looks like more Russia. So
yeah, what's the closest? Are you close to any cities?
I don't know.
I guess we started super remote.
We did start sort of remote. We can easily respawn, or actually, Vogelfree, if you tell me the exact latitude and longitude, I can teleport there.
That's fucking amazing that you can teleport there.
Yeah, they give you a lot of freedom, because after all, it's just like, you know, there's no gameplay, you're just flying around. There's no, like, points to win and shit. Feeling those Napoleon feels. I'm thinking about what you said. It's also wild to me that it actually attained religion status. Like, we call it a religion, not just some weird cult that happened in the 19th century.
Totally.
Like, that's big.
Yeah. I mean, it was, strategically, polygamy worked in their favor. Like,
yeah.
Hugely.
Right.
Just expanded their numbers, and then they just had members being born in who would also act as, like, a workforce, too.
Isn't it, you know, I'm thinking about the Shakers and the, you know who I'm talking about?
The Quakers?
Yeah, the Quakers are coming to mind. There's something like the Shakers and someone else. But that specifically, I'm going to maybe offend, I don't know if we got any Shakers in the audience. There's one of these that specifically died out because they banned procreation. And this is like a 1700s thing. They're just like, nope, you just don't even do it. And then, surprise, surprise, there were no more of them after a while. But this is like the anti-that.
Yeah.
Shakers.
Well, Mormonism is super duper adaptive for a pioneer environment. And the interesting thing about it, too, is I recently had Connor White Sullivan on my podcast, the guy, the Rome guy.
Yeah.
And he's like super into Mormonism right now.
Yeah, I've heard this. I heard this from him, actually.
And the thing that he's interested primarily about it is the I mean, he likes all the family stuff, but there's like a transhumanist wing of like a transhumanist association within Mormonism, because the cosmology is super sci-fi.
Yeah.
So there's like this pioneer element,
right,
and then this sci-fi cosmology that's like,
I mean, if
rivals Scientology.
If you're gonna make your religion, I mean, especially like after industrialism, after all this astronomy, right? You might as well. It's sort of like you might as well throw it in there because the shit's awesome. And I met this guy's name is Lincoln Cannon. I think he's on Twitter.
I talked to him on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So So I went to a cryonics conference where I'm in Nevada, in Laughlin, Nevada, actually, which is really quick side note. Laughlin, Nevada is like, imagine Nevada's like down, it's got a little point. If you chop the tip, if you circumcise Nevada, the foreskin is Laughlin, Nevada. It's this little triangle that basically all belongs to one dude named Don Laughlin. All right. It's got casinos for money stuff, right? So there's a town, which I think is also called maybe the city's called Laughlin or whatever. And that dude's into cryonics. And so he hosted this conference at like his big casino. The guy walks in, and he's got a little pistol, like a small little revolver on his belt. And he's talking like this, like exactly what you're imagining, cowboy hat, the whole thing. And anyway, it was just a wild experience. And I happened to meet the Mormon Transhumanist Association people there because they gave a talk.
Do you remember anything about their talk?
I mean, yeah, it was basically like, it's what you'd imagine. It was like, here's what's up with Mormonism, here's how transhumanism fits into it, we think immortality's good, we think technology's good or can be good, and like here's my email. Like, that was the kind of idea.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know anything about cryonics. What's happening in the world of cryonics, Michael?
So I'm not super tuned in, but I can give you the cryonic spiel if you're interested.
Give me the spiel. Cryonic pill me, please.
It's been some years since I tried to do this. The Twilight is Mormon propaganda too. You're gonna have to elaborate on that, Zach. Expanse I haven't even seen Expanse.
Oh, they're right about that. So
okay.
the Expanse is a giant Mormon ship that is basically planning to go fly to find the new planet to colonize.
To colonize. Okay, that's fucking cool, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ender's Game. I believe that dude's a Mormon as well. Orson Scott Card.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, in Ender's Game, early in the thing, you have the parents are talking about being persecuted as religious people in the future America. And they sort of like officially retire their religion. This is like part of the lore that like you're not allowed to be like publicly, you know, faithful. And so anyway, it's just sort of an interesting thing to know that Orson Scott Card's Mormon, and that's what they kind of put in there. I'm gonna cryonics pill you. Here's the pill. Ready? How likely is cryonics to work? Who the fuck knows? Okay. What they say about cryonics, though, is that it's the second worst thing that can happen to you. Where the first worst thing, of course, would be dying. And so what they mean by this is cryonics is essentially a mega roll of the dice that if it's the case that some number of things are true, then you have a chance at immortality. Yes, you right now, via physical means, right? And that, you know, if you sign up, you and this, you know, all the other cryonics people, the strange cryonics people, are going to wake up in the future when they figured out how to solve whatever diseases you had, right? And your brain will have been preserved through a process called, the word is escaping me, vitrification, which is not actually freezing. It's some process by which they turn the molecular matter of the brain to glass. And so, anyway, there's this whole question about the level at which information about the mind, which is really what you want to preserve about a person and their personality, etc., is in their mind in some way. There's this whole question about the level at which that's preserved. So is it preserved at the atomic level? Is it preserved at the molecular level? Is it like the neuron level? Is it brain areas somehow? You know, some kind of macro structures capture the personality. Because if it's not too small, vitrification clicks in at some level and saves the state. And so in theory, all the information is there. And you could either be literally, physically, your matter revived, maybe, positing future technology, or they could scan you and put you in a computer. And then there's more of a debate then about whether that's really you. But that's the cryonics build. So there are a couple companies that do this. I put some of them in a museum or zoo. Yeah, this is one of the arguments against people that people have. They're like, in the future they'll experiment on you. You know, they'll do bad shit to you. And I'm like, that would be cool, but you know, wake up in the year 3000. But anyway,
yeah.
There you go.
Interesting. Yeah, that just like doesn't sound very appealing to me at all.
Yeah.
I guess like you have to have a certain level of well, first of all, money, which I don't have, but there's like kind of a materialist bent for people who are into that kind of thing, where there's like I have much more curiosity about consciousness. Oh no! God.
So we're good. I have crashes turned off. We have land in the Siberian fortress. Nice swoop. Thank you. Thanks, Vogelfree. I'm actually going to teleport us to Moscow because we got a Moscow request.
Yeah.
Teleport window. Vogelfree said 59. It looks like more like a 60 latitude and a 30.36 longitude. Go there. Undo slew mode. Let's change the time of day because it's kind of dark. Oh yeah, all right. We're over Moscow.
Dude, your chat is amazing. The people in your chat are incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat.
This is the cool thing about the show is that these are all people we know.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, some of them, I feel like I know most of them.
Yeah. Not literally every. It's a mix. You know, it's like we're having a party. We got some people we know. We got some new faces.
Yeah, it's great. All the comments are top notch. Okay, so where are we now? Is this Moscow?
I believe, yeah, I believe we're in Moscow. Let me
Oh, cool.
GPS track us to. I don't know much about the layout of Moscow. Maybe someday we'll have a true Ruski on. And but it looks like there's a giant river running through it, which is awesome. Wait, we're in St. Petersburg? Is that where we are? We might be in St. Petersburg. I feel like I want some Russian music.
Yeah.
I like it more than Moscow. Okay, yeah, we're in St. Petersburg, where there's a river runs through it. I'm gonna fly a little low and see if I can get some look at some cool Soviet shit, or maybe like a church. That would.
Yeah, go find the domes.
Yeah. I'll go towards the water, because I feel like if I were to build a church, I'd build it by the water. Then I'll scoot back to that area that looked more populated.
I would like to take a history of Russian architecture course.
Yeah.
Like everything that happened before the communist brutalism.
Right. Peter the Great was awesome. Navy building, got drunk with all his bros and ran his government with them. Sounds like the founding fathers, to be honest. It's a lot of drinking. I'm seeing a lot of square-looking buildings, you know.
Yeah. It's very Soviet bloc.
Yeah. Very Soviet. I just found a store that sells Russian, like, Soviet stuff. Like clothes, like gloves and hats. Like actual, you know, collected goods from that place in time. And I'm going to buy some gloves from there. I can throw it in the chat. I can link it. Okay, I'm having trouble keeping this plane up. Okay, we're going down. Okay, alright. Okay, we went down. Let's try this again. I'm just going to teleport again. Where you just started World War III. Yeah, it's because I crashed my fighter jet. I'm scrolling back up to find 59.9.
I'm having trouble keeping this plane up. Made me think of the earlier part of our conversation about children's bedrooms.
Okay.
And the thought that popped into my mind was like, you're having sex with your girlfriend, and you can't keep it up, and you part of you is just like, so that child part of you that is still obsessed with planes makes you call your dick a plane.
I can't keep the plane up.
Honey, I'm so sorry. I can't keep my plane up. And she's like, stop calling your cock a plane.
Stop calling it that. We talked about this.
You're a grown man.
It's not your plane.
It's not your plane.
It's not a M3. I don't even know what the fucking thing. We're gonna have to retake off because right now it's not spawning me. All right, crank the fucking. I'm having trouble here, gang. I'm having trouble getting it going. All right, we're exiting and we're respawning. We do have the option to go to a different location. Maybe we could try Moscow.
We could also let's check out Moscow, and then we could also do Utah too. We could fly over like Zion or Bryce Canyon.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about what Utah looks like. I'd totally be down. Kersey's planes moving like UFOs are often described. Yeah. All right, world map. What do you say, Russia or Utah? I mean, sorry, Moscow or Utah.
I say Utah.
Yeah, let's go. Probably there's like a Salt Lake City.
Yeah, probably maybe St. George, which is in the south.
St. George is a.
St. George is it's a smaller town in southern Utah, but it's close to all the good like natural wonders in Utah.
Cool. Hold on, maybe you can show me where it is. There's Salt Lake International, Salt Lake City. All these little dots mean things. Provo Muni.
Oh, what's that one? Oh, Provo.
Yeah. I'm not so good at this.
Is there anything south of Provo?
Spanish Fork, Springfield. I wish I had like state lines.
Yeah, you could do. Or what's that one? That further south one.
Let's try this St. George. Not seeing a St. George.
Okay, you could just do Springfield. That's close enough.
Let me find it again. Provo Mooney. What's this one? SKW. I lost. Oh, wait, no, those are actual planes. Huntington. I'm just clicking these little dots. This can't be efficient.
Any of those will work. It's far enough south.
Alright, cool. Alright, we're going to go from custom departure location. Arrival, wherever. I don't know. I guess we can just go wherever. Where is Salt Lake? Just so I can...
It's a little further north of that.
Custom. Oh, it's like right by there.
Yeah, it's right by that lake.
Okay. It's a 4-minute flight. Oh, well, yeah, we're... Okay, let's go. Let's go. Mormons have any sacred objects besides the books that the founder found? Let's not forget about the tablets.
Oh yeah, the tablets. The tablets. What tablets? The tablets were the, basically where the Book of Mormon is written on the tablets. That an angel came and told Joseph Smith that they were written in these tablets, and they were basically buried in a specific location. And he went and he dug them up and he found them, but he didn't show anybody.
Right.
But he translated them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But people have faith. People have faith. Faith is powerful.
Yeah. That's for damn sure. All right, I clicked a new playlist called Hype Bass, Face Melting Dubstep, and Hard Bass Music. If this is excessive, I will change it. We'll just see. All right. Let me get a map. We're in Utah, and it looks kind of like Russia did.
Oh, Publius is going to Salt Lake City in 2 weeks. You should go skiing or snowboarding. Definitely. That's the best thing to do this time of year.
That sounds fun as hell. Oh yeah, I mean, look at these mountains, dude. I thought it was known for being really flat. Am I wrong? Maybe it's just known for being dry.
It is. There are like the Salt Lake Valley's flat, but then there are these giant mountain ranges that cut it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so we're flying north. Maybe I should go. Tell me where to go.
Yeah, flip around. Go south.
All right. Let's do one of these. Ooh. Many G's. Many G's. Nice.
Where did you grow up, Michael?
I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, where I am right now.
What are those like?
Sorry, I hate this fucking music. Let me try something else. House grooves, all vibes, all house.
Oh, all vibes. Do it.
Yeah. This music all has to be free music, so it's all a little bit weird. It's not like real music, because of fucking copyright shit. Salt Lake City is surrounded by mountains. The Chicago suburbs are like, they're different types. There's in different directions, and some of them are a lot more rural and a lot more leaning towards being Christian, and Christian high school is like a more common thing. And I grew up in like a Jewish suburb, and close to the city. There's Evanston is right by Chicago. That's the.
Oh, is that where Northwestern is?
That's where Northwestern is. Yeah, exactly. Luthos has a friend from Deerfield. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. What is there to say about it? I mean, I found things to hate about it growing up, but I think that was because I was growing up. You know, being back, it's not so bad. You know.
We do that, huh?
Yeah.
We find things to hate.
Yeah. All right, this music's more chill. I feel like I'm getting into a preferable zone. Talk about Mormonism a little bit.
The shitty thing about this, I grew up in Utah and then I lived there for another year.
Yeah.
Just a couple years ago, actually. This time of year, it's called the inversion. All the smog from the city gets stuck between the two mountain ranges, and it's like worse air quality than China.
Really?
It's horrible.
Wait,
and it's that way. It's that way for like a month and a half.
All right, I turned on the atmospheric effects. I don't know if this is that, but
yeah, that's all smog.
Yeah. Side note: I do have the power to change the weather. I can just be like, boom, it's July. Except for, I might have to manually change the. I can do like, here, look, it's July now. So if you want to choose a weather and a time of year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
This is cool. LDS faith is a powerful argument for the idea that the power of religious practice is orthogonal to the coherence of its narrative. You know, it's hard for me to say whether I agree with that because...
Wait, can you say that again? I can't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, just above. LDS faith is a powerful argument for the idea that the power of religious practice is orthogonal to the coherence of its narrative.
Mm.
The idea being that it's how believable it is sort of just independent of how epistemically justified it sounds is the idea. I'm not sure I agree with that. And the reason I'm not sure that I agree with that is because I think it's just, I at least caution myself because it's very easy to see the holes in other people's ideologies, right? And very hard to even see our own is what I sort of tend to believe. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have a thought here.
My biggest thought about something like the success of Mormonism is my own theory that I think most people aren't really that interested in metaphysical questions, that people are really just interested in solving problems in their lives. And Mormonism solves for a lot of problems, especially for people that don't really have, or have never had like a sense of a community that has their back, like a really strong social network.
Right.
Right. Mormons have that dialed.
Yeah.
And there are some Mormons that are like the Mormon historians that will basically argue for this and that and why things in the doctrine are true, but I don't know, most people like don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, like they have faith, they have that sense of the divine,
right.
That love that they feel that they can direct it at Jesus, they can direct it at God, they can direct it at their family, and that's like enough for most people, I'd say.
You know, I was kind of pilled in some way or another, although I'm not sure I could say exactly how, by watching the Mitt Romney documentary called Mitt. I don't know if you've seen it. It's basically like a 40-minute thing. It was on Netflix for a while, just about Mitt Romney, and it shows him like hanging out with his family and like gathering the family around to be like, okay, you know, like I'm thinking about running for president. Like, let's talk about this as a family. And people are like voicing their concerns, and they're being like, you know, I feel like this will be hard on the family, but I want you to do it because I care about what you're doing. And I was like, this is more functional than anything my family's ever done. Like, you know, that was kind of my reaction, and it was amazing. I mean, it was kind of like, obviously, you know, it's a little put on for the camera, right? You know, I'm sure.
For sure. But
that said, it's still an interesting ideal because I'm you know, I love my family to death, obviously, but it's like, you know, I don't even think we think of ourselves as aspiring towards that. You know, it's like we get things done, like, and it works, and we've got our kind of negotiated arrangements and everything. But it made me sort of, you know, if I were to take my family and sit down and say like, hey, like, can we pray about this together? They'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I think a couple of them would be like, no, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. And like, my dad would be like, no, like what? So anyway, it's just interesting. I'm very interested in that side of it. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
totally. Yeah, that if you can find that coherence, it's good.
Right.
But then the people that end up leaving Mormonism, with the exception of some, I mean, this didn't happen to my mom, but for people that leave it at younger ages, usually spiral hard into like heavy drugs and alcohol use.
Okay.
Like you're either in and you're doing really well, or you're out and you have no idea what to do with your fucking life.
Is this related to I think it's called the Lost Sons, Lost something like that, where it's the dudes who don't get partners?
I don't know exactly, but I don't know if this is what you're talking about.
Twitch religion, dude. They're starting a religion in chat. All right. Booting up. Who do we got? We still got most of them. We didn't get everybody killed in the crash. Yeah. Dude, I'm looking forward to when we can actually chill. I'm looking forward to that. I literally was having thoughts about is this game launching yet? I was having a fantasy about like the first party, like mega party where we get all the Twitter people together, and I will bring my computer in a PC case and fucking just turn it on and stream the whole thing. That was my fantasy.
But like post-COVID social gathering, like if you were hired to design a post-COVID social gathering, what would be the elements? Like,
what would I do?
Someone writes you a check for 10 grand.
Right.
You have 10 grand to publicize and design the whole thing. What is it?
This is a great question. Delasis is hyping the Portugal squad, because there is this Portugal squad, which is rather tempting.
I was in their group chat on Twitter for a while, and I left because I was like, you guys are having too much fun.
Yeah.
And I just like FOMO fucked off. I was like, I'm out of here.
I'm out. What I would do, man, 10 grand. I'm tempted to just do it real easy and just be like Vegas. just rent like a really pimp, like, I don't know what you can do for 10K, but like set of suites, just get everybody rooms in the same hotel, and just like, there's something very, very easy about that. If I were to think it through more, I could get more creative. But that's the thing that immediately comes to mind, is just like easy and like fun.
Like a Vegas bacchanal?
Yeah. yeah. It can be as bacchanal as you want. There's a lot of, probably some wholesome ways to enjoy Vegas, see some shows, fucking just eat, it doesn't have to be.
I feel like making it Vegas definitely it puts a worm in people's brains of what it's going to be, I think.
Right.
It's going to involve excessive amounts of intoxication, which isn't bad.
Right.
It's just going to be a specific vibe.
I just haven't had that in a minute, and I'm down for that. Like
I am too. Honestly, I am too.
Yeah. Let me get some of that house music back on. Hopefully that's not what blitzed the block. I'm tempted to turn my light off. I have this. Oh, I know what to do. I got a thing I can unplug. Wait, give me a second. Pardon me.
Okay, GoFundMe, do it. That's it. I mean, throw it out there. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Now the real question is, do I look like shit if I turn this light off? I just look kind of gloomy. It's cool with me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We're trying to avoid bacchanals are the most boring type of social experiment. Hey man, he said plan a party, not plan a social experiment. I will donate my entire net worth. Well, it's going to be a hell of a party, dude. At least for the commitment reasons alone. Yeah, dude. I mean, when it's going to be, where it's going to be, I feel like there's going to be like a mad scramble at a certain point once everyone realizes like we can actually kind of do what we want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
All right, how would you do it?
I don't know. I want like a, I think like rent a giant mountain mansion.
Yeah.
And have hot tub, have, just a little bit more secluded than the Vegas vibe. It's like so smaller, smaller invitation list, but still a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like the idea of like being in the same house for like 3 or 4 days and cooking all the meals together and having places to go hike during the day, but the house is like always the home base.
Yeah, that sounds chill. I would love that. Hey, don't say that about yourself, Soren. You're worth a lot to us. Though you may not be net worth a lot to us. Where should I fly, by the way? We're getting new chances at life. We could go to Vegas. South
yeah, why don't we
America.
go to Vegas? Why not?
Fuck it. Vegas. I assume there aren't too many. Wait, no, that's not Vegas.
Ooh, the Strip at night. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Las Vegas Airport. Why is it saying Las Vegas Airport's in South America? I guess there's a Las Vegas Airport in South America. No, that's not right. That's not where Las Vegas is, dog. I'm trying to eyeball it. Phoenix.
I feel like I see it.
Victoria. What? It keeps trying to send me to South America. Where is Vegas? I'm so bad at geography.
It's that middle one, that middle dot between
This is Salt Lake City.
California and Utah. No, it's further south. That one.
McCarran International?
Yeah, click on it. That might be Vegas.
Yeah, that says Vegas. Alright, well, we could fly to, I don't know, fly to LA. Alright, there we go. There we go. LAS is the airport code. Crazy flies everyone to the resort in his first ever live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna fly you guys in real life with all my flight simulator experience. I'm just gonna take the wheel of the actual plane.
That's a great idea.
Damn, dude, my fucking lights went out. It's because I got 2 lamps in here. I got these weird colored lights. My PC. We're talking about wild shit. Dude, lighting is a whole extravagant thing to learn when you're doing all this video stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, you got a good lighting setup there.
Yeah.
What's that backlit on your back wall? What kind of light is that?
There's a button I can press. There we go. Fade.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They're LED strips. You just glue them, stick them to the wall. You peel it. You just peel off stuff, stick it around, and that's that. And there's a little thing you plug into the wall. Let me switch it back to purple, or blue or purple, whatever the fuck it was. Dove, ready to fly. Remember the guy who stole a plane in Alaska and flew it with only flight sim experience? Is that a real story?
I haven't heard that story. Sounds cool though.
I want that to be true. I really want that to be true. I'm gonna look that up. Alright, let's get up in the air. Is it really get snowy in Vegas? I don't believe that.
Can't be.
No. Oh yeah, I switched it to live weather. Alright, let me
Oh, somebody posted this article. How flight simulators may have aided man who stole a plane. Oh, it was Seattle, not Alaska.
Okay. You better believe I'm tweeting the shit out of that later.
Flight simulators like Microsoft Flight Simulator X are like having a flight instructor in your living room. This teaches you all the procedures in a step-by-step manner, just like you would in real life on how to start a plane, said Nate Johnson, a licensed pilot who flies small planes.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. Wow.
I hope I'm never called on to employ my DualShock 4 abilities. I flew toward Alaska. I feel fully prepared to start the F-14B Tomcat. Hell yeah. You know, I know somebody who... Oh yeah, we gotta do Vegas at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hit the strip. Oh, no, I'm upside down.
Oh, dude, you are crashing.
I'm fucked. Alright, I'm fucked. Alright.
What? If you turn on crashing, does it make a cool explosion?
It doesn't make a cool explosion. It just ends it. I'm literally upside down. Alright. Restart. The flight will restart. New planes should be outfitted with Bluetooth PS5 controllers. Dude, that's true. I think. That might be totally false.
So there would be a way to actually learn what all of those buttons do, and like really take it seriously, and potentially know how to fly a plane.
It sounds like it. I mean,
that's wild.
Here, let's go with the live weather in Vegas. Yeah, dude. I mean, you should see some of the other planes. They all look different. This one I like, so I can read it a little bit. Real pilots do train on flight simulators. So like this one, for example, I love this dial. Look at this dial, and when I get up in the air, I'll show you what it looks like. Like, I don't know if you saw that. This thing is the, this is the gas, basically. Right? And then we got our joystick, and I'm just pumping the gas. Give it a little pull. Just kind of wait for the magic to eventually happen. There we go. Now you can look at this thing. This is cool. Right, it shows you you're like, this is oddly phallic. Interesting thought, Publius. Thank you for sharing that. Give a little pull, get your plane up. Dude, you guys are fucking perverts. Give it a little tug, just clasp.
It did look oddly phallic without somebody behind. Like, it's just like the dick moving on its own.
As they do. Sorry for my yoke joke. It doesn't make sense, though. I didn't understand your yoke joke in the first place. What is a yoke? Is a yoke a thing you carry? Is that is a yoke like a burden? Like the ox is yoked to the whatever?
I don't know. Oh, yoke is the steering wheel thing a bigger plane uses to fly.
There we go. Two-handed yoke. All right, let's try to stay out this time. We got some Mandalay Bay says on that. Oh yeah, we got the diamond. She's working at the pyramid tonight. Frank Ocean. What else we got? We got a little Disneyland. Hey, this is fun actually. This is cool. Over there's a Disneyland. think my machine's going to use more energy when I'm playing that game.
Oh, it's the simulator. You think that's pushing it over the edge?
Could be that my sister's on a call downstairs and I told her not to, and is doing video chatting, and it's fucked up. But we'll chill. Flashbacks to dial-up. Ain't that the truth? Could honestly... Alright, we're back in. We could honestly, like, watch YouTube, could do all kinds of shit. The fact that we still have people in chat is also blowing my mind. Guys, we're back. I don't know if you can hear me. I hopefully fixed the problem. I unplugged some more stuff. This is very California, except for I'm not even in California. Watch someone play a flight simulator. All right, nice. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'll see. What do you even do about electricity problems? I don't even know what you do about that. You unplug shit. 12 loyal disciples await. Dude. That's right. Generator, ground your house. What does that mean? Ground my house. Hijack a city line.
What if this was the part of the talk show where we go confront your sister for having a phone call downstairs?
Oh my fucking god. That's so funny. That is the funniest. Dude, like true reality TV.
Yeah. It's like, I'm with Colin here, and I told him that
right.
I told you to not be on the phone. So,
right.
So what are you doing?
If I was streaming from my laptop, I could carry my laptop downstairs, and I would fuck that goddamn. She would appreciate it. Of all people, she would appreciate it and be really mad and be like, "Can you get out of here?" God, we're gonna have to imagine. Unfortunately, it's all attached to my fucking PC, which is why when the light goes off, can you get a battery for your PC, like a temporary? Ask her how many viewers she has, then unplug her device. Yeah. By the way, if it goes out again, I mean, whatever. I'll keep it. I'll get back on till till I gotta go. But
I don't know if I have the full Joe Rogan 3 hours in me for tonight.
Yeah, no, because we're sort of hitting the wall. Let's at the God's pleasure. Let's continue as long as we can till I don't know, maybe up to the hour or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder if there are any. I mean, we were pulling on a few different threads.
Yeah.
I wonder what. Yeah, like what feels exciting or alive to you, to touch back into, or maybe we can even pull up a new topic.
Yeah. Well, I'm just screwing with our look here because it's.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at the chat and us on a black screen. That's kind of. Looks classy. What do I want to ask Colin? Also, uninterruptible power supply. I'll look into that. Also, anything you guys want to ask Colin. So, your podcast, is that something that is on your mind? Is that something you like spending time thinking about like these days?
I mean, a little less so.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like something that I'm regularly putting a lot of energy into. But when a conversation comes around that I want to have, I'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to just have there right now.
As a thing.
As a thing, yeah.
Right. I guess I set this up as I've been doing this weekly, like kind of on a hard schedule, but and I do like doing that to give me a little bit of momentum.
That's good. Yeah, it's good. If you like doing it and you want to grow it, definitely having it be a regular thing.
Consistent.
Feels important.
Right. Yeah. Offo says, who's been your weirdest and most favorite guest?
Who's been the weirdest, most favorite? I mean,
how do you want to insult most of your most of
I mean, I had Curtis Yarvin on my podcast a couple people ago, and he was like surprisingly really chill.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's surprising, but his like personality is, I think, feels a lot different than his old blog or some of his like old writing style.
Uh-huh. His old writing style is pretty oh yeah, okay. I should have fixed Colin's volume, by the way. That should be better now. Let me know if it's not. Yeah, I think his new writing style is also more chill than his old writing style.
Yeah.
He seems a little bit less stressed or something.
Yeah, I think it just seems like he's having more fun, maybe.
Right.
He's like maybe taking himself a little less seriously.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that. I've seen him in person a couple times. Kind of sat around when he was like chatting with people. Kind of got the vibe. Yeah, he's a character. What else can you say? Just enjoy reading your posts in an anime villain voice. Wonder if the difference that he's having kids fits his new passive.
Kids.
The what?
Yeah, kids. Kids will do it.
Right. So what is on your mind though? So, and you know, we don't have to get into details, but like what it exactly is like, what are you thinking about, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest threat in my life right now is like hardcore, intense spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Like I found a teacher. I moved out from Colorado to Michigan to basically study with this teacher full time in the Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. And it's like, I don't know. I just kind of, I spent a lot of time in my 20s just kind of seeking, like looking around in different places. But I was always looking for a master. Like I was always looking for somebody that I could study with for over a long extended period of time, because without that, like without somebody who actually knows their shit really well and knows you and is able to like watch you in your circumstance and see the areas where you need to grow or can grow or delude yourself, it's like having that person is fantastic. It, you know, and I think in our culture today, there's like a, I don't know, there's like I think it might be a leftover hangover from the 60s, sort of, where there's kind of this anti-authority ethos where if you just like put in the effort, you yourself can be the best, and you like there's maybe an unwillingness to submit to somebody who's a master, like to actually say, you know what you're doing, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm here to learn from you.
Right. I thought about this a bit with some of my, did we talk about this before? I thought about this a bit with some of my martial arts background. I don't know if we talked about that when we got on a call a while ago.
No, I don't think we did.
I did a lot of martial arts growing up. It was kind of like it was pretty huge for me, to be honest, in like my adolescence, because I was like angry about life, you know, and it kind of like totally chilled me out and gave me a purpose. It was like a perfect case of, you know, getting the kid something to do that was like physical and also like it's added some discipline and whatever. And I did read about it a bunch, and you know, around about like surrounding philosophy, because I guess that was kind of part of how I was consuming it. And one thing that stands out is the hierarchical thing, you know, in the Eastern traditions around, like, you know, there's an ordering of the belts, like you line up in order of your belts, and like someone's the teacher and you call them sensei, right, and you do the whole thing. So I think there's a lot of good in that. I think it's very hard to know how to do it, especially in our current world, you know.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like when you're looking for a teacher, you have to be like so careful, bordering on cynical, of like deciding who you want to study with,
right?
Because there's also so many examples of being too naive and then putting yourself in a situation where you get taken advantage of.
Right.
So it's like you have to be clear-sighted, and you have to be, you have to do your diligence and do your work and figure out if it's really the right situation for you.
It's a weird thought. It kind of the matchmaking problem reminds me of dating in a way, where there's something like, so I know that there's someone out there who we would link up amazingly, right? And they're out there right now, and they know there's someone out there for them that they would link up with amazingly. But I can't just go down the street just being like, don't date your master. Yeah, I probably agree with that. I can't just go down the street being like, all right, I'm open for business. Who, I mean, I can, right? I can be like, I'm open for business. Who's down? Whatever. But there's something like you can send the wrong signals if you go about it in the right way, right? There's something with like the master student where it's like, that there are many grifters out there, right? And you're looking for a specific thing, and they should know that you know that, and so they still have to explain why their thing is powerful if they really, assuming they're legit.
So here's a good sign.
Yeah.
Here's a good sign for me. So, there's a huge tendency in our culture today to commoditize everything, like everything turned into a business, sales, like all of it. But true spiritual practice, like Dharma is not for sale. Like it's not a business. And so I think the really good teachers are hard to find. Like you actually have to really look for them because they're not putting up Instagram ads. Like they're not trying to sell their wares. In fact, a lot of the good ones are actually trying to get rid of students.
That's interesting.
Because it's like a duty. It's like the thing that they're doing that they're called to do, and they're not selling it. And so you have to actually like show up and be very persistent to become one of the students in the first place. And there's something to that of like it's not just handing over a check and say, now teach me. It's like you're actually having to do a lot of front end work to even get a meeting with a person.
Right. There's a story like that in one of these books I used to read as a kid. What I would literally do is I would go to the bookstore after school, and I would go to the martial arts section, and I would find a book, and the money I had I would spend on that. I would just get another book. And one of these was about, there's a couple of these guys. I think his name is Dave Laurie. He's like an American martial arts guy. Who
heard of him?
Oh, interesting. Not many people have. But he tells the story of finding in his like town in like Indiana or wherever, some dude who seemed to know sword shit, right? And it's just a wild, it is one of those stories. It's like he just started a habit, if I'm remembering this correctly, he started a habit of going to this guy's house every day after school to say hello and ask to be trained, and did it for like months, just got into months, right? I love it. There's something just beautiful,
Yeah. Are you familiar with 𝕙𝕤𝕤, the Russian mystic? Do you know his work at all?
I've heard this name. You might have mentioned that. Tell me more.
So he's like, he's a Russian mystic. He has this book called Meetings with Remarkable Men, and it's basically his own recounting of how he found the teachers that he ended up studying with, and he basically had to like travel the length of the entire Asian continent to find the person.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just like reading that. It's like today it's so much easier to do that, but the fact that people are willing to put in so much effort to something that is actually like the most precious or the most important thing that there is in this life is like truth, finding the meaning of reality, finding truth. Like, what else is there?
Yeah.
So
what's this guy's name?
Yeah.
You said how do you spell his name?
𝕙𝕤𝕤, �GURDJIEFF.
Hell of a name. You said meetings with
remarkable men.
Throw that in there. I'm just confirming the name of my samurai guy. I wrote a book called Autumn Lightning: The Education of an American Samurai. Yeah, Dave Laurie. I don't remember if it's in exactly this book. I read a couple of them, a couple of books by him. Have we talked about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No, but we should.
Let's talk about it. Have you seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I mean, just you saying it is like I should rewatch this movie tonight.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah. So I've seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 11 times or something. So something. Just a side note, just a sort of autobiographical side note. When I was a kid, I think I got into a certain loop where I would find narrative elements. I didn't think of it. I didn't have words for it at the time, but now the way I think of it is, I would find narrative elements in fiction, and I would consume them like crack. Like I was a fiend for depictions of heroism, for example. I would watch, it's like a little cringy to look back because it's like Tom Cruise, but I would watch The Last Samurai, and I would just die over and over. You know what I mean? Just at these beautiful the shit hit me, right? 13 years old. And now of course I have to distance myself from it a little bit because I'm an adult and I know better. But at the time I had no idea what was going on, and I would have these sort of I almost want to call them psychedelic. Maybe that's not the right word. Romantic maybe. Is this a kind of romantic passion kind of sense to it. But I would watch and rewatch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I think then I was kind of into the romance aspect of it. There's love story shit, but there's the thing I've come to appreciate it over time is, so the phrase Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it's a chengyu, which is a 4-character Chinese saying, right? It's kind of like, speak of the devil and he will appear. It's one of these sayings. And the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon saying, I am told, refers to the idea of hidden talent. So the idea being that hidden in the world are talented students, like a hidden talent, right? And so it's, the story, right, is about, thanks, LLGI Pro, I appreciate it. What a comment. Sorry, I'm just appreciating that a lot right now. Fucking people. Island Yell here. What's up, saucy pendeja?
Saucy pendeja.
I'm trying to talk about something serious here, dude.
I know. Yeah. Catch the plot, Michael. Catch the plot.
I gotta roll with it. My lights have gone out twice during this fucking episode. I'm going by on my fingernails. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Anyway, it talks about the hidden talent, because one of the main characters, I don't know if you remember this, it's Zhang Ziyi plays Jen, the young girl who is seeking training, right? And she has her master, Jade Fox, the evil, dark underworld of the martial arts, whatever, who throws needles and poisons people, right? They've got the different styles and shit, right? And then there's Chow Yun-Fat, the character's name is Li Bai, played by Chow Yun-Fat, who's the priestly, sagely, the Tao, know yourself, balance, and he's got the green destiny fucking sword and everything. And anyway, the plot is largely about the entanglement of this girl, this promising student, with the lives of the masters, right? And they're angling against each other kind of for the fate of the world as they know it, in their universe. And they've got all their personal relationships, and then the girl is sort of goes this way and that. It's very Chinese drama, right? But I like it because I feel to me, training is very important. It's a very important thing, Mm-hmm. And so seeing fiction that deals with that is useful. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. How do I keep it?
You're trying to talk about Crouching Tiger, and people just are into the mustache.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
This is my social media experience, man. So one of these days, I'm just gonna shave it off. I don't know what's the right way to do it. Do I just shave it off and not tell anybody, and just start posting videos and not say anything?
It's not. Yeah.
Not
say anything at all.
Do I make it a big deal? Do I hype something up? Do I be if whoever goes on my show, I'll if I lose a bet, I don't know. But it's an actor in this play.
Well, who would be like the ultimate guest? Who would be like dreaming, just like dreaming
Right.
as big as possible? Who would you want to talk to?
It's funny because just a couple weeks ago, I was like, "There's no way I'll ever get ℚ𝕚𝕚𝕚." And so I was like, I'll put on cat ears on stream if ℚ𝕚𝕚𝕚 goes on. I don't know if you saw that I did this. I did this. And and then he just was like, yeah, I'll go on. It was just like, he's just like,
Yeah.
sure. So I really haven't thought that through. But only you will know that, Soren. You have to keep my secret. Who would be the ultimate guest? Who would I really want to have?
Yeah, think outside of like Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
who's like a hero of yours?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like living heroes of mine. Get Joe Rogan on, Chow Yun Fat. Get my stash on. My stash is actually on most of the episodes, if not all. I've got an answer for you. Let me. Who would I really want? I'm gonna try to answer this for real. I mean, honestly, dude, I don't know if I could handle him, but it would be sick to have Kanye West on the show. I don't know if I could handle him at all.
That'd be sick.
The reason is because I would ask him a set of questions I've never seen anybody ask him.
Like what?
I would ask Kanye. I would go right into spirituality. Right, I would just go. But now people are like, "Oh, your religion, blah blah blah." Like, what is it like to convert? And that's interesting. But I've heard some of that stuff. Right, I would go into like, I would want to go into like, I think Kanye West has been on a spiritual quest since day one, and I think he knows it on some level. And I think he was sort of a heroic pagan figure early on, and has become more monotheistic Christian type of archetype. But I think it's interesting because with Kanye, you get somebody who is like, he's clearly at war with the world around him, and there's something like, he talks a lot about like being controlled and things like this. And I think when people are doing things like doing that, when people feel like kind of persecuted and controlled by the world, often I think it's because they sense subtle things that are happening in the social world that actually are going on. So anyway, I think that like, this is getting a little bit obscure and into my views on how shit works, but it's sort of like, I think that people often develop spirituality in response to the sense of of being controlled, basically the sense of like something being improperly ordered in the social world. Does that make sense? I don't know if
That's interesting. Yeah. I think people's route to it is probably going to be different, but I think that's definitely a certain type of person or personality. Or a person who grows up in a certain set of circumstances, where it just so happens that control is like maybe the dominant negative influence on their life.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It could be that it's a type. My view, weirdly, my view is that people's minds are pretty set up around the mother and father ideas. The reason I believe this in part is, imagine, you come into the world as a baby, you don't know anything, you have basically no abilities except for to like yell. You don't even know that you're yelling, right? There's like very low power, right? And you're controlled by these entities, one of which tends to give you more love and care, and the other of which like handles you sometimes, and maybe does some other stuff. And I don't know how much you understand as a baby. I tend to think that people use these concepts throughout their lives, and so when you grow to be an adult, you come to recognize your actual parents as human beings, hopefully. Though you still act kind of childish around them. You still right, and a lot of the time, maybe usually. And I think that people then see the mother and father energy in the world, and how you map this to people's experience might be different across cultures and also be kind of controversial. But I think people may often, for example, see a man might see women in the general sense as relating to his mother, right? Might see, you know, material factors like hierarchy in business as the father. You know, you got Earth Mother, Sky Father, shit like that. And so basically, anyway, I'm saying that because a lot of times these like spiritual types are struggling to find clarity of mind. Maybe I'm a little bit talking about myself, but like I'd like think that I think it's more general, but I might just be thinking about myself. They're struggling to find clarity.
Yeah, keep going.
They're struggling to find clarity of mind in a world where, like, I think we don't ever truly get over the idea of parents. Is sort of my thought. There might be some way. There might be some type of person who's like at some level I've never fucking contemplated. But if we don't ever get over that, I think that people still are like sort of in protest of their mother and father for various things.
Yes, you're so right. You're so right. And I think there is a way to get over it.
Yeah, what is it?
I think at the you will have zero progress on a spiritual path if you are either living for or against your parents, which everyone is always unconsciously until you consciously stop it somehow. And it's going to be different for everyone how that actually happens. But I think that's a huge step. And I think it has to happen for any type of individual freedom to take place.
Right.
Because those influences are just going to be, they'll totally hamper any type of thinking outside of your conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how you put it, living for or against your parents. I like that breaks it down. There's something really crisp about that, because then you can have it like for or against mother, for or against father, or maybe both or neither, potentially.
Right.
I do kind of categorize people about whether they have more mom issues or dad issues.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Which are you?
I'm more, and this isn't saying anything particular about the actual human that's my mom. I think the stuff that happens when we're infants, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
I think I have more mother issues though. So I tend to react more against what you might conceive of as, and again, you might conceive of them this way, and people object to the categorization, so I'm a little bit tentative to decree like X is masculine and Y is feminine, because people get upset about this stuff. But like subtle social control that has a distinctly like feminine nature, to me, I fucking hate. I just hate it.
Totally.
Right. Versus power being used, like explicit outward power being used against me. There's something like, if someone has the outward fight with me, I'm like, it calms me down almost. I'm like, if they're like, you can't do this, we're fining you that much, you are demoted in the company, that type of thing. There's something very understandable about that to me. So, but people are quite different, right? Some people are much more in the direction of, that shit freaks them out. They hate it. They're struggling against it. They never want any explicit power stuff happening on the table. But they're very much more comfortable with. I'd have to conceive of what this type would be exactly, but they're more comfortable with the feminine. It's where they like make their home base or something.
Yeah, it's also interesting to find how the masculine or the issues you have with mother and father just like intersect. Like it's hard to totally separate the two. So for example, like when I was young, I could tell my mom wasn't in love with my dad, like from a very early age. And I knew that there was some tension there, and I could see that my mom basically had to manipulate my dad to get what she needed. Like she had to just like get her needs met. And so I didn't trust women. I was like, oh, women have to manipulate to get what they want. So obviously I'm just not going to trust them. But then, but I also have some like dad stuff, because I wanted my dad to like put a harder kind of like speak up for himself or like stand up for himself more. Yeah. And so part of me was like resentful of my dad for not like having strong convictions. So I don't know if it's like mom or dad or both or what, you know?
Probably everybody's a little of both. I think the I mean the archetypes are, it's like order and chaos, right? And so part of what makes me believe in this type of stuff, or find it at least a useful frame for thinking about the world, is that when I do... Sorry, this music is distracting me because it got real elevator music-y real fast, and I don't like that. Fix it. The part of the reason that I find it useful to think in this structure is that when I do introspective work, I sometimes find content that very much has this character. So that's a sort of hard to share evidence stream, but it's something like being in contact with something and it feels momentous and powerful and significant, and I am fighting with it, and like it feels like I always have been, or something like that. And it feels like it has a distinctly feminine character or masculine character, different things at different times. Sometimes I will get imagery of, something chaotic, and it just looks distinctly chaotic, and it seems like it's coming from below, right? And we're thinking in binaries: chaos and order, below and above, and in this case, feminine and masculine. It's interesting because the image kind of demonizes the feminine energy that I'm having some trouble with, right? But people will have different things. That you could imagine the feminine being home and safe, and the kind of cruel order manifesting in some different way. So, I don't know. I guess I think about the imagery as part of my... It's like there's an introspective data stream that I'm using to inform my understanding of myself, and then try to speculate what other people's minds are like.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time we talked, you had said, I was like, what, I think I maybe asked like what your dream job would be, or like what you could like really see yourself doing in the future.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly how you phrased it, but it was something like being it was like a
advisor.
That's the word, advisor. Like an advisor for a certain, like what would be like the subset or population of people that you would most want to advise?
Right.
People with power, right?
I mean, Cicero.
People with power and influence.
I mean, Cicero says morality is a matter of consequence. So Cicero says that the statesmen are basically better people than the philosophers, because even if the philosophers in some ways know and understand the moral rules better, it's the statesmen who make them, who establish the law and cause them to be in practice. And so, I mean, sort of, I'm not always sure that this is the right thing for me, in practice or whatever, but it would be sort of, it's kind of like advisor to the king is the archetype.
So, there's a reason I asked you that. Oh, I think it's the, it's like the research you're doing on, it's like the introspection, but then you're also creating maps to try and create maps for other people's experiences too, and see if what you're observing internally can map onto other people, and like in what context that would be useful. Is that right?
Sorta. I'm pretty confident that the things I'm experiencing do map on for other people, but at a certain amount of abstraction. So maybe you're not gonna have my exact issue, but you're gonna have, we got to delete some of the specifics and then have a general accounting. But I do want to get to the question Vogelfrey asked in a second, but I've been making these videos about religious stuff because I think that there are general processes of contemplation that could be devised that many people can find useful, basically. So in some ways, I guess in practice, I spend a lot of time thinking about how can I solve certain problems in myself so well that I could share the solution with others, because my solution is so deep and so to the crux of the issue that someone else will find it relatable. If that...
Yeah.
Never actually articulated that before, but it's interesting to hear myself
that makes sense.
say it, but I don't know. I haven't totally figured out how to share it, though. I haven't totally figured out the right way.
Do you have do you have people that you coach? Like, do you have clients that you work with?
Yeah. I do.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had more and less at different times, and I haven't put as much effort into like developing that as a stream or whatever. But yeah, I've done a lot of coaching with people, and often had a very, very rewarding time with it. But it's hard. Like if you're taking it seriously, it can be hard. It depends how much you're trying to like push to get somewhere specific, right? Versus just be of aid to someone who's kind of got their own thing going. The latter is much easier. To kind of just be like, I've got knowledge, ask me any question you have, I'll tell you anything you want to know. That's much easier than like, I'm going to carry you to the next
Or just
level.
like being in their shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, Malty.
Oh, Malty. Hello. Oh wait, what was Vogel's question you wanted to answer?
Your Vogelfrey said, have you thought of the Holy Spirit as feminine? I think I have. I just don't know that much about Christianity. I've thought about Mary, as the feminine side of in that worldview. Yeah, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. What does that make the Son? I mean, is this versus the Father? There's something interesting there.
They're two different masculine archetypes.
Yeah.
And then the Spirit is the feminine.
What is the Son archetype in that case?
I'd have to think about it more, but the sort of triad that I think that maybe maps onto this one is Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. And the two masculine archetypes are the priest and the king, or the priest and the chieftain. So there's like a religious leader, the priest, and then there's the statesman,
right,
or the king, right? So,
right.
So it's like the separation of masculine power, and then it's held by the feminine,
right?
Which is like in Buddhist terms, it's emptiness.
Which is empty?
Openness.
Oh, openness. It would
feminine,
be the feminine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Transcendence, immanence, and unity. Unity is Jesus. Is that your take, Vogelfrey, or is that coming from some tradition? Be curious to know.
Transcendence, immanence, unity.
The Holy Ghost being the muse. It's stuff like this. So that makes me, by the way, I think I kind of understand occultism. I don't want to say like I fully understand it or whatever, but I kind of think I understand it. So here we are, right? We're talking about concepts and how concepts relate. And we're talking about those in light of the possibility of doing personal practice. At least I think you are, and that is what I'm doing. And
yes.
Right, because I imagine encountering the concepts and seeing them relate in some way while I'm like literally sitting there for 60 minutes doing my meditation or whatever. And imagine, first of all, opening old books and finding weird-ass concepts that you've never thought of before. It's like Osiris. What's that? Thoth. What's that, right? And you start putting the things together in different combinations because it's shit you haven't seen before because it's from other cultures, right? For example, the other day I read some Mencius, actual Chinese Mencius, not the mold bug. And there's a way in which when they talk about politics and art and leadership and like just being a good person and morality, it's very unified. There's like, it's kind of easy to see how it's like not all these binaries that we're kind of accustomed to, as coming from like Western thought. And it's like, damn, this is some new shit. Like that's how I feel about it. I'm just like, new concepts, like, what is this? What can I do with this? So then, you get like the Hermeticists and stuff, right? Talking about like earth and fire and water. And I think they're coming up with like phenomenological lenses is how I think of it. They're coming out with like a concept to hold up to themselves when they do some practice, and then it gets some effect. And it's interesting with the elements in particular, because they maybe try to be like, what are the essence of these? What are the basics, the fundaments? Some of them are like harder and softer, maybe. I don't know. Some of them is masculine and feminine fundamental, or is there a deeper level, right? So anyway, that's my take on like what occultism is.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's definitely is something to I mean, the practice that I'm doing, it's like a preliminary practice. It's Vajrayana Buddhism, which is a tantric path. And before you actually start practicing tantra, you have to do what are called the preliminary practices. And the point of the preliminary practices is to align your body, speech, and mind. And so you're aligning all the multiple I's, the different things, like your motor center wants one thing, your emotional center wants one thing, your head wants another thing. Right. And by and large, humans are totally conflicted about what they actually want. They want one thing in one moment, they want another thing in the next. Right. And so there are practices that you're actually aligning body, speech, and mind by holding a particular visualization. You're doing a physical exercise, like a physical activity, and you're saying a prayer. And you're doing these three things together, and it's like embodying and enworlding concepts.
Yeah, I
think some version of what you said.
I think of this as like defragging the mind, basically. It's like we have concepts and ideas and modes of action broken up and split up across the different parts of our consciousness. We're in a different zone when we're thinking, and we look up, and it's in the air. Why is it up there? Why isn't it here? Right. And I think you can do things to connect them back together, and it generally is an upgrade, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's interesting. That's cool. I confess that I don't really know what Tantra is, and whenever people talk about it, I think of sex, and I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, it's like, so I think about Tantra juxtaposed or as like an addendum or separate path from Sutra. So Sutric Buddhism is more renunciative paths. So when people think of Buddhist monks, for example,
right,
that's the Sutric path, where it's you're renouncing. Right. You're consciously putting yourself in a position to eliminate desire. Tantra is basically it's like the inverse of that almost. Even though it's like those Russian dolls that stack open. I think of Tantra like as another Russian doll. So it holds in the Sutric element of discipline. Yeah. And there are certain things that you need to renounce, like, doing whatever the fuck you want all the time, or drinking excessively, or eating horribly. Like, you have to have discipline still. Right. But then the tantric part is actually learning how to use all appearance, all desire, everything as a catalyst for alchemical growth or alchemical change. So you're actually using everything, including sex. So sex is part of that. Right. And it's like, and sex is also just like, it's the primary metaphor in Tantra too. It's because it's the union of form and emptiness. Right. Right. It's the union of masculine and feminine. And that's literally, like, you can use that metaphor in every single, basically anything you encounter in your daily life, like that comes up. Right. So.
That's interesting. That gives me something to work with, something to chew on. I feel like, because I guess I'm a lot more familiar with the other side that you're describing as the Sutric. That's my image of Buddhism. Mm-hmm. I know a guy who practiced Tummo meditation, with like these crazy images of like heat going up and down the body, and like fire and holding your breath and stuff like that. It's a wild thing. Supposedly these guys can melt ice and snow off of their backs by raising their body temperature using some meditative technique.
Yeah, Tummo is a pretty advanced tantric practice. The way that I understand it is the heat that you're generating actually has nothing to do with your external environment. It's you're generating heat to melt your calcified beliefs and concepts that live in your head. So it's engaging the subtle fire energy to melt and have. I mean, everything is the union of the masculine and feminine, and that happens internally too. So the masculine is up here. Mm-hmm. This is the it's kind of like the Yeah, it's calcified belief systems and sort of like structured ways of being, and then you're engaging the fire of emptiness to kind of have more spaciousness in the way that you sort of engage with your world.
This is making me just want to do some meditation. Yeah. Word.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Do you find that you have to sleep more when you do more of these practices?
No, I've been having. I've just turned a corner where I actually have more energy, so I've been waking up really early.
Yeah.
To practice for a couple hours, and then I've been getting like 6 hours of sleep a night, and that's been fine for me.
That's wild, dude. That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to get on some. I'm intrigued. I might need to. I'm a little bit weird with this stuff because I like to just like receive the object I'm given and then just chop it into bits and take out like one gear and be like, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Which is not the most traditional way to do it. See you later, Vogel Freak.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
See you, Vogel.
Thanks.
Great recovery.
I did my best. I feel good about it. We are kind of. We did a bit longer than we said we were going to.
Yeah, I'd be down to wrap it up here in the next few.
Yeah. I guess since we're here, chat, and you guys are the truly battle-tested chat who've been through 2 computer shutdowns. If you guys have any questions or thoughts on your mind, something you want to ask Colin, or just sort of get our thoughts on that's relevant to any of these themes or whatever, now is a great time for that. Otherwise, we can kind of wrap it ourselves. Let me see.
Dude, thanks for having me, Michael. This is fun.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. I promise that usually it's real smooth. Malty has added that we look cute together.
We look cute together. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we look good, dude. We got some good color contrast.
Yeah.
I feel like in this context, I'm the yin and you're the yang.
Yeah. There was one section of this chat where I had to stop looking at it because people were just like going hard on your mustache, and I was getting distracted.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay attention to what you were saying. Like all I could just look at was your mustache. I'm like, I need to listen to what Michael's saying.
Yeah. I was getting a little distracted as well, but I've been trained to show no weakness in the face of taunting, and so I was just bricking it. Pretend the mustache is the one doing the talking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. There are a lot of components, right? So there's the flight,
right?
There's the chat happening,
right?
And then there's the conversation. I wonder if there's something to like giving attention to different segments at different points, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, additionally, there's the technical. So I'm also managing, like, if I got to move the chat box and shit like that. So that's another thing. What's the metaphor? I feel like it's like a little bit like, it is kind of like having a group of people in the room, but you have to keep the conversation going. But you want to bring people in, right? Mm-hmm. But then, what does chat want to talk about? What if they just want to talk about your mustache? You've talked about your mustache 1,000 times before, right? So, I obviously don't mind a little bit of memeing. I'm the one who grew the damn thing. But you got to sort of make a call.
Totally.
Who is that man? Idea, ignore chat. Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, it's also fun to have people, right? And like getting questions and shit. But we get different crowds, different nights. I think also sometimes people wander in just from Twitch who aren't like doing the Twitter thing that that a lot of the people here are doing, right? And so, what are they? You know, they got to say hi, and a lot of times they say hi by being like, "Nice stash, bro." You know.
Totally. Yeah. Maybe there's something like a 12 disciple section, where the people that are regulars have greater access, or you see their texts first.
So there are options. So there's subscriber only chat is an option. You can do follower only chat. I don't have enough subscribers to do that, but I could do follower only chat, and it would mostly be. I don't know if it would be too quiet. Because it's nice to have some new faces. And my cyberpunk Wojak.
Yeah, I don't know what the I don't know what the balance is. I think it's just like, I think just keep doing it. You know, see what works. Yeah. Yeah. It is fun, man. Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah, dude.
I'm totally converted. I'm obsessed with your talk show now.
Sweet. Yeah. Good to hear, dude. I'll hack the pieces together. I'll put it, with a bow, and I'll put it on YouTube.
Cool.
New frequent flyer, Colin Morris. Thanks for coming on, dude. I'm gonna wrap the stream now. Chat, have a good evening. Thank you for coming by.
Bye, chat.
Good to see you, Malty, and Lethros, many others, Publius that I recognize from Twitter. The Mile High Club. Wandre, Riddle Doodle, as always, Soren. Dude,
good people.
Maybe frequent flyers is followers. Mile High Club is subs. That's what I'll do. All right. Good night, all.